World of Whiskey, and we're still on the bourbon trail. We're going to do a review of a Woodford Reserve, and this is the Distillers Select. It's a very popular whiskey. It's considered a premium. It's a small batch production. Now, there's quite a history on this whiskey. Now, the whiskey was recreated in 1996 by Brown-Forman, who was the owner of Woodford Reserve. But I'm gonna take you back to the beginnings, because it all started with Elijah Pepper when he arrived in Versailles, Kentucky, in 1797. He began to distill corn. And he eventually moved his operation to the current Woodford Reserve site in Glens Creek in 1812. And it's recognized as the oldest distillery in Kentucky, and it is a National Historic Landmark. So the Woodford Reserve kind of uses a unique distillation process, compared to everybody else in the bourbon industry. They've actually picked up a couple of pot stills. They brought them in from Scotland. And so they basically, they triple distill in their 3 large copper pot stills, one batch, and then the other batch, of course, is column still. Let's get at it here. Let's pour ourselves a shot here, and we'll start off with the nose. Again, this is as I explained earlier, it's I believe 18% rye, 72% corn, 10% barley, and 45.2%, a little over 90 proof. Okay, and quite a dark, kind of a deeper copper color to it, eh? Okay, the nose. It's a sweet, quite a sweet nose, and it really delivers a lot of fruit and ester notes and that, like citrus, apples, pears, yeah, little bits of honey. And we do get a little bit of the alcohol. It's the vanilla's coming through, and a little bit of strawberry. Apples seem to dominate. A wee bit of ginger in the background there. Not super spicy, that's for sure. Considering there's 18% rye, that's always surprises me that it isn't. It doesn't have more of a blast with the spices there in the nose. But anyways, let's go for the palate. Sweet. Definitely a little on the thin side compared to, let's say, a Blanton's, but nice, very nice. This is definitely one of the bourbons that got me started into bourbon. Most people drink Woodford Reserve, they haven't drank bourbon. They will suddenly probably take a liking to that specific, that specific brand. Because I know a lot of people, that's all they drink is Woodford Reserve. So, but it's just a clean, very, very clean palate to it. So the vanilla's there, bits of honey, citrus. I'm gonna have to top up here. And now I'm getting a little bit of that rye, a little bit of the rye spices. Pleasant though. Very slight tobacco at the back end there, but we're getting the vanilla and the honey and maybe a little bit of apple pie. You know, like a tart, not super sweet, but a tart apple pie. Apple pie and apple rhubarb, maybe more like an apple rhubarb pie. It's tart. And again, the palate, you know, it's not it doesn't leave a thick coat on your tongue. It's and at the same time, it doesn't leave a dry tongue. So, but it's got, you know, all the right flavors, and it's got the right layers, and it's well balanced. It's not a thick drink, that's all. You know, it's a lighter drink. You know, and just toward the tail end there, I'm getting that the cinnamon notes, and even a little bit of the nutmeg and slight bit of pepper. So, but we're going to go for the finish here. And you know, it really, it seems the finish really brings out the rye now. So now I'm getting the rye and the oak. Yeah, so it's nice. You kind of worked my way toward that, and still getting a little bit of the sweet, you know, the vanilla, the honey, the citrus notes, but more noticeable that the spices are coming through now. And I like it, the reason it doesn't really leave your palate dry, which is kind of nice. So, you know, it's a short to medium finish, maybe a little more on the short side. So, we're going to give it a touch of water. We're going to see what water does to this. Again, this is a drink that really turned me on to bourbon, and I still like it. You know, in the summer, this is a great drink in the summer. Great with an old fashioned, just with an ice cube in the summer. Don't want to do too much water here. It's not a real thick drink, but it's what it is. It's presented different than a lot of other bourbons, and that's its strength, and that's why it's so popular, and that's why it's such a huge seller. I always kind of think of this as the Glenfiddich of Scotch. That's what it reminds me of. You know, the Glenfiddich or the Glenlivet. Oh yes, the sweetness, the vanilla. Now that apple pie is sweet, it's the tartness is gone. Yes, just a little bit of water. It's amazing what it does. Yeah, I get that. I love that that dessert sweetness of it, like almost like a fudge. Vanilla fudge, almond vanilla fudge, almond and pecans. Oh, very nice. Palate. So we've lost a few of the spices, and we're getting back to the dessert. Definitely opened up the sweetness area there of this bourbon. Yeah, a little bit of water. It really, the honey notes, the toffee notes. You know, the vanilla is coming through. You know, very, very slight spices just starting to show up now, but it's more of the cinnamon, maybe a little bit of nutmeg, oregano, but it's not a long finish. This is going to be one of the shorter bourbon finishes. I still really like this drink, and this is one that I can sip on when I don't want to get too analytic. I just want to relax, want to tone down. This is a good bourbon, you know. Again, it's my Glenfiddich or maybe my Glenlivet, you know, if I was drinking scotch, you know. So score-wise, I'm going to give this a 79. It's, you know, when I get into bourbons, I don't escape the 70s too often. If I hit an 80, it's high. The 79's a good score for this. It's a bourbon that is a good introductory bourbon, bourbon that I think you could introduce to people that are not maybe crazy about bourbon, never have drank bourbon before. It's a good starter bourbon. This particular, the Distillers Reserve, I've always liked it. I'm going to have to do another review on the double barrel. It's also you know, an interesting bourbon, and they've also come out with a malt that I have never tried. I'm really curious, so I really like to try it. I believe it's 51% malt, so that's another one I'm going to chase after. But I do like this distillery. They do everything in small batches, and you know, it's like an old friend. So, anyways, 79 is my score. So I'm going to ask you to drink wisely and intelligently, and do not drink and drive. And until the next time, cheers.